probably here because you are commuting to college and you wanted a few tips on commuting, on what that means, on how to get there, on just some practical tips. I did a couple of videos a couple years ago, and now I have some experience, practical, real experience, about 2 years worth of commuting experience, and I wanted to take some of my knowledge and pass it on to you. Anyway, I am going to give you some tips for commuting and for just to make your commute easier and make it feel, yeah, I'm just gonna give you some tips. The first tip numero uno, is leave early. Practical, people know this, but I cannot emphasize this enough. If you do not leave early, you will most likely not be on time. What can go wrong will go wrong. Not in all cases, I don't believe that for everything. But when you're commuting, you really want to think about that thing, because the day that you have your final exam and everything has been running smoothly, you've been studying on time and making it to class on time and everything, that'll be the day that your bus breaks down in the middle of the highway and you will not get to class on time, and your teacher will be like,
"You should have planned for this mistake." And you'll be all, "But it's worked this long. I don't know.
So just leave early. Let's take this example. You have to be at class at 8 a.m. You have a 15-minute commute from your house. Unrealistic, but this is hypothetical, so it doesn't matter. You have a 15-minute commute from your house, and you have to take the bus. The bus gets you there quickly, about 15 minutes. You're in class on time every day. You have the 7:15 bus and you have the 7:45 bus. The 7:15 bus gets you there 30 minutes early. You are there before the teacher. You are there before the early kids. You are an early kid. But that is okay. It's okay to be early. When you leave early, you leave room for mistake. And I know that 30 minutes of sleep can feel like a lifetime. But it's not. Have some go-tos. This goes hand in hand with leave early. As a commuter on campus, you're not going to have a dorm to go back to in between every class. If you're pulling a 12-hour day one of those days of the week, say that your Monday you have an 8 a.m. class to 8 p.m., have some go-tos. Some places where you feel comfortable. You have the library. You might have the coffee shop. You might have an office on campus. Just somewhere where you can chill out until your next class or until it's time for you to go home.
Sticky note where I found. Okay. Number 3, no more than one way to get to class.
If one of your ways is the bus and one of your ways is the car, no way to get to know 2 ways the bus route and 2 ways the car route. You need to know more than one way to get there, because if Route A takes the highway and you just heard on the news that the highway has really bad traffic, you might want to take Route B.
Maybe it's route, I don't know.
But knowing those ways will save you time and stress in the long run. Numero 4.
Carry only what you need. So in my last lesson.
But the truth is, you're not always going to need it all. I have organized my system in such a way that I have the stuff I need for Mondays and Wednesdays and the stuff I need for Tuesdays and Thursdays set into 2 different piles. It can get a little confusing. Sometimes you have to mix some of Tuesday's homework in that Monday pile because you know it has to be done. But it is a really good system. A lot of the times, I'm only carrying around a notebook, a water bottle, some pencils, and a textbook. And that's all that I need for that day. Just take what you need, because you're saving some pressure and some weight on your back. If just in long term, if you carry all your textbooks on your back, everything on your back at all times, your back will suffer, and so will your feet.
And you do not want to have to solve that problem in your 30s.
No, you know, so I'll tell you now, keep it light, keep your backpack light, have only what you need. And there will be those days where it's like finals week and you just need to cram all of that information in your head and you can only focus at the library because craziness is happening everywhere else. Well, then you go to the library with all of your books and do that. It's one day out of 300. I don't think we're ever really in school for 300 days out of a year, but it's one day. I would really consider getting my books on Kindle. Not everyone has a Kindle. You can download the Kindle Reader app, but if you can access your textbooks via Kindle, via ebook, do so, because that does save a lot of pressure on your back. And sometimes I like to just be able to highlight
and flip through the pages and smell the book.
But sometimes it's better to have it in Kindle form, especially if it's a 800-page book and you don't want to carry that around all day. So, carry what you need. Multi-use containers. This goes along with carry what you need. You know those thermoses that also have the screw-on little soup container at the bottom or top or something? That is a multi-use container. And there are multi-use containers everywhere. They also have those containers that are like salad containers, so you have that little container that goes on the side for your dressing with the little lid that goes inside the bigger bowl for the lid and the top in the bowl and the salad. Multi-use container. Or the world is full of multi-use houseware, so invest in some. Do I say you should spend $30 on a multi-use container? Only if you really think it'll help. I don't think that's a great idea, but if you really think that that'll help you and throughout the day, then by all means, do that. Let's face it, whether you've been in college 1 year, 2 years, or 3 years, or 4 years, or you're just now headed to college, after you've done all those applications, you probably know that sleep is like oil on a campus. It is a commodity. Sleep is it depends on how you plan. It can be sparse or it can be really plentiful. Depends on how you plan and what you do. I know people who always get 8 to 9 hours of sleep every night while they're in school because they plan that way.
Oh, I have an 8 a.m. class? I'll wake up at 5. My commute's about an hour. I'll go to sleep at 9, get 8 hours, come home, do some homework, go to sleep.
But I've heard that getting sleep is good for you, so, you know, do that. Sleep thing. Yes, that's all. Thank you for watching. See you later. Bye-bye.